in the AHG growth group, right?
You can double check on your phone.
Or yeah, some signature.
Nice. We better laugh. Are we live?
Should be.
Oh shit.
In a perfect world.
Oh, we're live. Let's go. Let me see.
Yep. You're good.
I think we're live, bro. Let's go. Keep it open on your phone so you can see the questions and stuff.
Oh shit, you're right.
And who's on? Okay. Let's see how many people are on and stuff. There we go. In a perfect world. Yo! What's up, guys? What's going on? The gang's most of the gang's here.
Almost.
It's been a long day. We've just been hard at work all day, mostly work. You know?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Oh, there's a little lag.
A little bit.
You can read comments or I read comments?
You could both read the comments, yeah?
Yeah, we got it.
Lower. I got it.
You might not know how to work that. It's pretty complicated.
Alright, we got 4 people on here. That's not a lot.
Oh, there you go.
10.
Jumping up.
What's up, y'all? What's up, Nikita? What's up, Valeria?
Who else?
Takula? Who's Aaron Martinez? Do you know that
I
guy?
don't know. Never heard of that.
Do some weird curly hair guy. What's up, y'all? So we don't really have a particular topic for today's live. We might just end up riffing off of whatever.
Something, but if you got questions, you got anything you want us to talk about,
You got us all in one room, and yeah, let's do some Q&A action with you guys. We haven't done one of these in a while.
Thanks for you want sales, marketing.
Yeah, anything you guys want to chat about?
Acquisition.
Maybe we might have some new people in this group who don't really know us. Maybe you want to know a little bit more about us and our story and how we got to this point, and all that good stuff. And yeah, like Ron said, sales, mindset. Bless. Here we go. I'm allergic to you guys.
As they help you in all this.
But yeah, so what do you guys got?
Is there anything? You guys, what's up, brother?
What's up, Uri?
You're right. What's up, bro?
I didn't get the memo for all the black shirts.
Dude, put it down. I can't see it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, why don't we just kind of riff on a random topic while we get some questions coming in. Again, you guys can ask us anything you want.
Alright, what do you think we should talk about?
You want to talk about the ads?
Why don't we do we'll do the ads in a second. Why don't we do kind of like a meet the team video?
Okay.
Like, who are you, bro?
My name's Aaron.
Actually, let me intro this, right? Okay. Who are you? Okay, so we have 10 people on here. So, for those of you that might be new to the group, you don't really know us yet, we're just going to do kind of like a meet the team. There's a couple people that are missing from this picture, but this is what you get for now. So, tell the good people who you are, man.
Cool. So my name's Aaron, obviously, the curly hair guy that I was talking about earlier. And so my, overall role within Agency Hypergrowth is I'm the success coach. So it's basically the easiest way to put it. It's like my job. I don't like to call it a job, but it's basically my duty to make sure that everybody within AHG sees success. So checking calls, hosting group calls, really whatever it is to make sure that everyone is hitting whatever goals they want to, and that's my job.
100%, man. Dude, tell us a little bit about your background. How'd you end up getting in, mixed in with us
That's
Robeck?
crazy
Yeah.
people. I think like most people that find themselves in this group or really any group is you're struggling to figure out how to sign clients and learn sales, client acquisition, everything across the board. And then I stumbled across you guys with your back in 2018, so November 2018.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out how to get more clients, and then had a phone call with Brian, and the rest is history. Came in and I went from not really signing any clients, and I scaled pretty quickly to literally within the first month hit 10K within AHG, and then scaled up to about 20-25K within 60 days. And then from there you guys were like, hey, you figured something out, so let's bring him on board.
You're kind of good at this stuff.
You kind of know what you're doing, so no, it's good, but all thanks to what you guys taught. So
100%, man.
that's me.
Cool, let's just see who we have on here.
We have Tanya. What's up, Tanya?
What's up, Eric? What's up,
Canada.
kids? just give my background and backstory really quickly. A lot of you guys probably know already, like what my story is, but I was working a full-time, well, I dropped out of college back in 2016, worked a full-time sales job in 2017 for most of that year. Kind of just like most of you guys, including these two guys, I just kind of got fed up with just working for somebody and not really having control over like how I lived my life and how I made money and all that good stuff, and what I was able to do with my time. So I kind of stumbled upon like the digital marketing agency model, and just ended up going down a rabbit hole on how to actually make the business work, and just ran with it for about a year. It took me a long time and a lot of headache and heartache to figure out how to actually go out and get clients consistently, and what it looks like to actually sell in this sort of day and age, and what it looks like to be able to fulfill your clients effectively and all that good stuff. And I was able to grow my agency pretty aggressively just on my own. Before I met my business partner Brian, I was just doing my own thing, and then I kind of just accidentally started coaching people because people were reaching out for help. I was posting in Facebook groups, all that good stuff, just kind of giving a lot of free value away, doing free coaching calls, that sort of thing. And eventually people were like, "You should come out with a course or some type of coaching program, etc." And I came out with a really small course, did really open up to more like 10, 15 people, and it kind of just blew up from there. People were getting amazing results with what I was teaching, which was mostly self-taught on my own. And then I met Brian. He was actually a student of mine, like these two guys. I'll start from the bottom, now they're here. And then we just partnered up and started coaching people together. Because he grew his agency really quickly as well. And Agency Hypergrowth kind of just took on a life of its own. And now we're here about 2 years later. So it's been a crazy journey, but there's never been an ounce of me that's wanted to stop helping people, and that's why we're still doing it. So that's me.
Dude, that goes way back.
I know, dude. What about you, man?
My turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did the whole college thing, had a full-time job, used to be an engineer, worked for a company called Cummins for about 2 years. Then I realized it wasn't for me, just like these two guys. Got into digital marketing, tried it for about 8 months, 9 months. Didn't really do anything with it. Maybe got to a couple grand a month, if that. Saw Brian and Sebastian stuff. I was like, they look kind of smart. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Jumped on a call with Brian.
Kind of smart.
Okay. I grew really quickly. I don't really like to use myself too much as a testimonial because I just worked really fucking hard, to be honest with you. Went from 0 to 25 grand a month in about 3 months, and then quit my job, obviously. Started doing this full time. Aaron and I are actually business partners for our agency, and then started helping people out like you guys. And I'm one of the advisors of the team, so if one of you guys are wondering, how you can start using some of the strategies that we've been at AHG Growth, we can talk about something like that, see what that looks like for you, just give you some pointers, maybe point in the right direction, we can do that.
Yep.
But yeah, man, that's kind of pretty much it in a nutshell for me, in the most part.
Yeah.
It's been a ride.
Yeah, dude, it's going to continue to be one. So yeah, that's kind of just our backstory for those of you that don't really know us too well, maybe you're new to the group. What's up, Dario? He's a client. What's up, Seth? What's up, Noor? Ali? What's up, everybody? Again, drop some questions down below. This is kind of just open Q&A. I mean, we could just kind of keep riffing on whatever.
Yeah, we have we were filming a lot of content for you guys today. We have a lot of topics that we could go over, but this group is about you guys. So whenever we go live, we'd like to talk about whatever you guys want to chat about.
Yeah.
So if there's any questions, we're happy to help out.
Yeah. Anything you guys are struggling with in particular, let us know. Let's see here.
There's always that little weird lag, so.
With questions, yeah, that's true. So yeah, if we don't have any questions, we'll just kind of riff on whatever comes to mind.
Yeah. Dude, the biggest thing I've been seeing a lot in this space, just being on the front end, talking to a lot of agency owners recently, and I'm sure you guys see it as well, is everyone trying to jump on the paid ads. They're like,
Speak up, they might not be able to hear you.
They might not?
No.
Okay.
Was this kind of good? It was fine.
Yeah.
We don't have mics, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what I was saying is that people are trying to leverage paid advertising to get clients for their business. But there's a lot of obstacles when you try to do that, and a lot of things that you might not know. And quite frankly, if you don't have $2,000 to $3,000, you're willing to just honestly burn up, throw in the trash. It's something you want to avoid. I'll let you talk about that a little bit though. What do you think is one of the biggest reasons they shouldn't be doing that, especially if they're just starting out or don't know what they're doing?
Yeah, 100%. Well, first I think what we need to do is understand why so many people are pushing like running ads for your agency. I think there's a few reasons. Number one, quite frankly, I think a certain part of it, maybe not a huge part, but I think a part of it is a lot of these coaches that are pushing paid ads, quite frankly, probably don't know how to get clients organically. They probably aren't very good at like crafting messaging and going out and being able to land meetings on their calendars without needing paid ads, right? So I think that's number one. So a lot of these coaches, quite frankly, probably just don't know what else to teach beside that. Number two, it's running ads for your agency kind of has this allure, this like kind of fantasized aura around it, where it's like all you need to do is pump a couple $100 into ads, and you can sign a few clients at $2, $3, $4 grand a month, and you know $500 in, and you can be at a 20 grand a month agency, and you don't have to do that much work, right? That's kind of like the allure.
Sounds good on paper.
It sounds fantastic on paper, but in like most things that sound really great on paper, usually it's a bit different in practice, and that's the same thing with running paid ads. So like Karan said, if you guys don't have literally at least bare minimum $1,000 to $2,000 to just throw away, and when I say throw away, I mean if you were to go and put it out into the market, if it was to not come back, you lost all of it, you'd be okay, right? And if you're not in that position, then you should not be considering running paid ads. That's number one. Number two, the issue with running paid ads is if you are not fully dialed in with sales, like if you don't have a sales process that you can really rely on and fall back onto, and you know you can consistently get on the phone with prospects and close them like really confidently, then the only thing running paid ads is going to do is it's going to shine a major spotlight on that problem. So you might be able to get leads coming in, and this is granted if you can get ads to even work. Because getting ads to convert to cold traffic is just a whole beast in and of itself. But that's if you can get past that barrier, right, and create an ad that's compelling and actually attracts your target client or customer. Then what happens when you actually get them on the phone, right? And you're going to get a bunch of leads, and because you haven't fully mastered your sales process, you're just going to kind of expose yourself to the fact that you don't really know what you're doing yet. So it's almost like you're trying to swim in the deep end without really like practicing your backstroke or your freestyle yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Dude, one more thing to add on to that is for most of you guys, if you're just starting out, you don't have any clients, you don't have any case studies, anything like that.
That's a huge thing.
You know, how are you going to really leverage your funnel at all? Because it's like, hey, this is my agency, I help XYZ industry out, let's assume your niche down, you did that. And then you're like putting through their funnel the process, but they don't know anything about you. It's like, would you go, we were just talking about this earlier today, he's looking for a chiropractor, and he made sure the first thing he did was look for reviews on them.
100%.
Right? And if someone has no reviews, why would you trust them with your body? Like, no business owner is going to trust you with their money if you don't have any reviews for yourself. Right? It doesn't make any sense. So,
100%.
If you can't leverage organic methods to bring in clients first, like that's your biggest problem. You can't just start putting money into ads and expect that to work for you.
Yep. The way I like to think about it is getting clients organically, the way we teach people without running paid ads or using virtual assistants until it's the right time to do those things. Because not to say, here's the thing guys, just to be clear, that doesn't mean, what I'm not saying is paid ads don't work for an agency, and I'm not saying that hiring virtual assistants don't work. They work, it's just all about the sequence in which you do those things. If you do them at a time when it doesn't make sense, they're not going to work. It's like if you try and go under the bar, and what the hell, I was flying really low. If you try to go under the bar and try to push, 325 pounds, but you haven't been able to push 130, it's just not going to work.
It's all about sequence.
It's all about sequence. You need to work your way up to that. So again, it's not that these things don't work. It's just that a lot of people try to do them at the complete wrong time. So those are my thoughts. And again, like Karan said, if you don't have case studies, you have to understand when you're going and running ads, you're running ads to cold traffic. People have never seen you before. They don't know who you are. So you have to almost like overcompensate with how much you get them to trust you, which means you need a lot of case studies. You also need to be really good on camera, quite frankly, like just to be authentic. It's the honest truth. Like image ads don't work that great when you're going for like B2B clients. Like you need to put a face to the name. If you look at the best companies and the best advertisers, their best videos or their best ads are videos. And if you're not that great on camera yet, that's another thing you need to work on. So it's just this whole combination of things that if you don't have these things dialed in, running ads is just going to tank your wallet, quite frankly. So yeah, dude, I don't see any questions.
No.
Let's see what you guys got.
So
what would the sequence order look like? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, man. I don't want to butcher it. Serhat? Sarah. Okay, I'll keep that at that.
Yeah.
What would the sequence look like? So it really depends, right? Because it could be faster or slower for some people. But generally, the kind of ideal framework is you get at least 4 to 5 clients. Let's say you're charging them $200 to $300 a month. And you keep those clients for about 2 to 3 months, and you get them amazing results. So now you have 4 to 5 case studies and referrals that you can go out and leverage. And once you've shown to yourself, really, and proven that you can get on the phone with a prospect organically and close them, and you have a sales process that, again, you can really rely on, because think of that as your backbone, and you've got your fulfillment dialed in, then you can go and bring those things to the mass market by running paid ads. But again, it's really about having those things dialed in first. Without them, you're just gonna, it's like you're running into like the lion's den with like, you know, if you're a cub. You're just gonna get eaten alive, essentially. That's just what it is.
One little thing to what is it?
Cool, Sarah. Yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah.
So I was gonna add one little thing to it. So like I know we're touching a lot on like the sales process, but I think it even comes like whatever that entire process looks like. For example, if we even put numbers, because we've dabbled with like running ads for agencies, like people think that like, oh yeah, I'll spend like $5 a day and we'll book like a shit ton of calls, right?
Yeah,
but it's like,
exactly.
but even just looking at average, like per booked call is like $100, right? So imagine like paying $100 every time you have like a client opportunity. And a lot of times, like some of these people, especially with the messaging, like we're saying, hey, we're gonna help you generate more installs, new clients, whatever it is. A lot of times that generates unqualified people,
For
right?
sure.
It generates people that might be in pain, they're hurting, right? They're not, that person probably doesn't have their sales process down anyway.
We were talking about that
You get
before,
on, you get on the phone call with them, and they're like, hey, this is what I'm doing. You're like, you drop the price, and they're like, oh, I can't afford that because I just started, or I haven't done a job in X amount of time. So literally, you're spending hundreds of dollars for unqualified people.
Yeah.
And then you look at the end of the month, it's like, well, I just spent like $3,000 in ads. I haven't closed a client. I'm $3,000 in the hole. Now what?
Now what?
And that is such a great point, because what that, like, so that's like the first order consequence. The second order consequence of that is that if you're paying to get a lot of people on the phone, but they're all unqualified, you're going to have to pay a higher price for a more qualified prospect, which again goes back to the fact that if you don't have a budget for ads for your agency, if you're not in a place where you can afford to pay double what you think you should pay for a qualified application and a prospective client, you should not be running ads.
And dude, the thing is, like $100 for a booked appointment is actually really, really good. Like,
Yeah.
if you think that's a lot of money, it's not at all. As long as you're charging enough.
That's if you're charging enough and you're able to close.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. So, for you guys that might be running ads, and you're like, hey, I can get $5 appointments, $10 appointments. I think you were talking about this just now. It's like, well, look at how your appointments are actually coming to you. They're just name, phone number, email address. That's not qualified.
Yeah.
What's the show up rate?
Exactly.
How many you're closing? How
Are
qualified?
they even
There's
in
a
the
lot of
industry?
things. Yeah, exactly.
They even
Yeah.
work in your space.
Yeah. Are you attracting the right kinds
It's
of
a
people?
funnel hacker.
Yeah.
It's like people coming through just looking for your ads. Like another
Legit.
marketer that gets hit all. They're like, oh, let me go through this. You get an application, John Smith at ABC Marketing. It's like, well, obviously can't do anything with this, but you just pay. You spend $100.
Yep.
On that one person.
So the big takeaway from that, guys, is as you can see, running paid ads is not as simple as turning an ad on and your agency blows up. Like it's this big machine, this big ecosystem with a whole bunch of little cogs inside of it. So yeah, like
Dude,
I think we got it,
we're
bro.
gonna put the nail in the
Punch
coffin.
that out, yeah.
Put the nail in the coffin, bro. Yeah.
Does all that make sense though? Do you guys have any questions? Is anything we said not clear? Anything that might be uncertain?
Yeah.
To you that we can clarify?
Oh, I think I have a question that will spark some discussion with you guys.
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe we'll make this a separate live.
What?
I'm gonna do it on here, right? Might as well.
Yeah, we
Is
can do it.
It'll be a
What is
good-
it?
We're late, so we might as well.
Yeah. I'm just not seeing any questions.
You guys not have any questions?
No.
What's going on?
So,
We got 3 of us.
question.
Ask it.
What do you guys think about pitch decks?
Pitch decks. I think a lot of times, depending on like the industry, it's gonna come off very selling. And I think a lot of times, like if you don't do it correctly, I think this is the problem. I think it's again back to sequence, right? Like if you have a pitch deck in place, but you don't know like basic communication, you don't know sales, you don't know things like that, like it's gonna be really hard to make the pitch deck work.
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Like because if you don't have like understandings of basic like objection handling, like understanding of the
Yes.
industry, like I think if you're using it as a crutch and you're using it to do the selling for you, it's never gonna work.
Dude, that's such a good point. Because I was literally just going to build on that. Most, like 95% of people, in my opinion, that go out and use a pitch deck, they do it because they don't want to learn how to actually sell and get better at communication.
Yep.
And so the people that teach it, I mean, I don't know people personally that teach it. I just know there are people that do teach you use pitch decks. My guess is that if you look at the way they sell their programs and their coaching, it's probably all based around you not needing to learn sales, just use a pitch deck.
It's all about volume.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's like literally one of the biggest disservices you could ever do to somebody is to prevent them and hinder their ability to go out and learn sales. Because sales, this is going to make me go on a tangent, but sales is not sales. It's learning how to effectively communicate like with other human beings. So to rob people of being able to do that by giving them a pitch deck as like a crutch, in my opinion, is just a shitty move. So I hate pitch decks.
Yeah, dude, another thing is that like a pitch deck doesn't really allow you to connect with the prospect, right?
100%, bro.
It's like you're just gonna go through the motions with it if you're a regular pitch deck person. I don't know, there's some people that might do it well.
Yeah, see, the audio is a little funky. That's what I was telling you guys.
It's
It's a little far away.
We'll work through it.
We just gotta speak up.
Yeah. So I mean, as you bring on clients, you want to know that you're bringing on people that you want to work with long term, right? Unless you're doing your agency month to month, which we can have a whole other conversation about.
Yeah.
But for a majority of you, I'm guessing you want to have long term clients that stay with you for years on end, and you don't want to have people that are a pain in the butt. And I think sometimes with pitch decks, you get anybody, and if the price sounds good or if the offer's good, they'll jump on.
Mm-hmm.
And then later down the road, 2 weeks in, you're like, oh wow, this guy's actually a horrible client, and
Yeah.
I'd rather not work with him at all.
100%. Another one. What kind of fulfillment services do you guys offer to different niches? I know some are Facebook ads, Google ads, website building, etc. And which services do you guys see are mostly offered to specific niches? This is a good question. What are you gonna say?
What I was going to say is it's dependent on the niche, for sure, right? Like, some niches, they need paid ads, it works really well for them. Some rely more on organic growth, so SEO works. But at the end of the day, like, when you sell something, you have to give what they want, right? Like, not what you want. That's what people buy. So
Well,
you
what
have
they need.
and what
What
they
want
need.
they need.
Sorry, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What they need. Yeah, because they don't always know what they want, right?
And what they want isn't always what they need.
Exactly. So the best way to go about that, man, is to actually do some research on your own. Call them up and just be like, yo, I'm starting an agency. In exchange for some information, I'll give you some feedback on your socials, whatever, right? And just ask them, hey, like, what are you doing for marketing right now? What do you feel like could help you out with marketing? What have you tried in the past? Things like that. You'll start getting a better understanding of it. If you do that with enough people, they'll be able to create an offer for your industry. And
Yeah.
see a lot of success with it.
I think another thing is it's definitely dependent on the niche, but I think a lot of it comes down to what the business owners want in terms of like their goals.
Yep.
Because if they really want aggressive growth and they're like, listen, we want to move fast, and depending on the industry, right, most of the time, paid advertising is going to be the way to go. If they're like, you know what, we want to grow, but like we don't necessarily need all the growth tomorrow. We're okay with doing it at more of a slow, steady pace. Search engine optimization might be a better route to go. It's really all super dependent on a client situation. I think anybody that says, it's all one size fits all doesn't really know what they're doing, because it doesn't really exist, in my opinion. That looks to be the last question. Yeah, we covered some good stuff though.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. We should go live again tomorrow. Cool. I don't see any more questions, so what else you guys got for us? Should we wrap?
Whoever watches this replay, we'll probably go live again tomorrow. So
Alright.
drop your questions in this chat, and then we'll cover it tomorrow
Yeah.
if you want.
Good point, dude.
If you make it to this point and hear that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, let's wrap, y'all. Just some good questions. We covered some good stuff, and we'll go live again tomorrow. See you guys soon.
Sweet.
Peace.